Jake Gearan wrote to me on Instagram during the week with a request for Victor Jara by Arlo Guthrie. Anyone know that song? Well, he sent me a Christy Moore version that was lovely. Then I did my research on Victor Jara, who was this great revolutionary songwriter from Chile. He was a peasant from Chile, and Chile was a dictatorship at the time. And he had all these protest songs, and finally helped to elect President Allende, the first democratically elected president of Chile. And I'm not sure how long it took for a military coup to happen, and they killed Allende, and Chile became a dictatorship again. And Victor Jara was arrested and tortured and killed. And this song beautifully tells that story. I absolutely adore the song. So thanks for the request, Jake. And this is my version of it. Victor Jara of Chile lived like a shooting star. He fought for the people of Chile with his songs and his guitar. His hands were gentle and his hands were strong. Victor Jara was a peasant, and he worked from just a few years old. He sat up on his father's plow and he watched the earth unfold. His hands were gentle, his hands were strong. Now when the neighbors had a wedding, or one of their children died, Victor's mother sang all night for them, with Victor by her side. Her hands were gentle, her hands were strong. He grew up to be a fighter against the people's wrongs. He listened to their grief and joy, and he turned them into songs. His hands were gentle, his hands were strong. He sang about the copper miners and for those who worked the land. He sang about the factory workers, and they knew he was their man. His hands were gentle, his hands were strong. He campaigned for Allende, working night and day. He sang, "Take hold of your brother's hand, you know the future begins today." His hands were gentle and his hands were strong. And then Pinochet seized Chile. They arrested Victor then. They caged him in a stadium with 5,000 frightened men. His hands were gentle, his hands were strong. Victor stood in the stadium. His voice was brave and strong, and he sang for his fellow prisoners until the guards cut short his song. His hands were gentle, his hands were strong. They broke the bones in both his hands. They beat him on the head. They tortured him with electric wires, and then they shot him dead. His hands were gentle, his hands were strong. Victor Jara of Chile lived like a shooting star. He fought for the people of Chile with his hands and his guitar. His hands were gentle, his hands were strong. His hands were gentle, and his hands were strong.